when the best are at their best.
Today, a whole new style of racing at Daytona. We'll go 200 laps, 500 miles as we always do. 55 on pit road. Fuel window 42 to 46 laps and 4 cars to the back.
And that's going to be huge, but the pit window there, because this racetrack has so much grip. Tires are not going to be that important, but that fuel window certainly could be.
A few things to note as we get ready to go green. Brand new surface at Daytona has led to a new style of racing. The bump and push style of drafting seen at Talladega is now possible at Daytona due to this smooth surface. As mentioned, after 300 miles yesterday, drivers were worn out. Imagine driving in a snowstorm where all you can see are the taillights of the car in front of you and you don't know what's on either side, what's behind you, or what'll happen next. That's what's going to happen here, especially for that driver pushing the car in front. And finally, we'll remember Dale Earnhardt and his legacy with a silent third lap to honor the number 3 that he made famous.
The other thing is a .196 has been the difference in all the races run down here this weekend for the winner.
Set to go green, the Camaro pace car will make the left turn to pit road. And Darrell, it's time to start another season of NASCAR and NASCAR on Fox.
Be nice here, be nice guys. Hold on, hold on. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
Will pair up and draft with either a teammate or a convenient partner.
Larry, the same thing we're seeing today is what we saw with that 24 car. Really slow on the get-go. Doesn't seem to get up to speed very well.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon in the dual races with Trevor Bayne pushing him most of that race. Hated to see restarts.
I think Jeff Gordon, maybe he's drifting back in there to find Trevor Bayne in the 21 car.
In the qualifying race, Kurt Busch had help from Regan Smith the whole race long. Smith pushed him to victory, and he has pushed Busch to lead lap 1.
See Michael Waltrip in the 15 car, Kyle Busch in the 18, a couple of Toyotas getting a pretty good run on the high side through 1 and 2 down to the back straight.
Don't look back. pretty comfortable right here where these guys are, but man, back behind them, pack of wolves.
5 pairs of cars have broken away from the pack where everyone else looks to find a drafting partner. And as they come off 4 and complete lap 2, NASCAR on Fox and Daytona pay tribute to the man in black, Dale Earnhardt, on this, the 3rd lap of the race. Legacy may not be his 7 championships or all of his victories, but the advances in safety in NASCAR that followed that dark day in 2001.
This 2-car draft at the bottom of the racetrack, A.J. Allmendinger in the 43 car, Mark Martin in the 5. Saw these guys work together a lot in practice, and they were fast no matter which one was pushing the other.
Worked together a lot in practice, but I believe this may be the first time we've had them up in the front here fighting for the lead. And that's the way this race unfolds always. So many unexpected, and you never know who's going to rise to the top.
Allmendinger started 13th, Mark Martin 15th. They lead the Daytona 500. Oh, Kyle Busch
behind you. Wave to 7.
Gets it down on the apron without further contact. Jostling further back, but no other collision.
That was luck.
And Rowdy Busch, winner of 24 races across NASCAR's top 3 series last year, has brought out the first caution of the day.
See what happened here up on the outside. Gets a shove from Michael there in the 15 car. Wrong place, wrong time.
The Daytona 500 is sponsored by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. By the new film Transformers, Dark of the Moon, July 1st. This film not yet rated. And by DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
First caution of the day, pit road, a fairly busy place. Not quite half the cars elected to make stops.
If they made the pit road wider, I think it would make things safer.
Let's have a look at what happened to Michael Waltrip and Kyle Busch coming in from the right side of your screen.
Remember, the drivers say I can't see past the car in front of me, so Michael really can't see. It looked to me like Kyle in the 18 said I'm gonna get behind the 5, but Michael wasn't ready for him to do that. We've talked about how the drivers communicate with each other on their radios. Those two may not have the ability to do that.
Let's have a look from behind the accident, right in the middle of the racetrack.
Darrell, did it almost look like he wanted to first go down there and then had a second thought about it and came back up?
I think he got just a tad loose when he was going to cut to the bottom. I think his car got a little loose, and then Michael was right up on him, and the air just
From Mark Martin.
3 wide. 18 is wrecking behind you. 18's wrecking behind you outside.
Now, there does not appear to be major damage to Kyle Busch's car. Here's what he had to say after the spin.
I had to back up because there were 3 wide. There was nowhere to go, so I trail broke a little bit, and it just spun me right out, getting to the corner. Stupidly insane.
stupidly insane.
Hadn't heard that one yet.
Kyle Busch did get on the radio and say, tell Michael he didn't do anything wrong. There's just not enough real estate. The plan right now is for 18 of Kyle Busch to come back down pit road. You see him there. He's asking for the toe plate, the alignment on the car. He wants to know, is it toe in or toe out? What is wrong? They said, that's what we have to check. Steve?
Krista, Michael Waltrip said on the radio, I didn't do anything wrong. I stayed right in the middle like he asked me to.
Top it off the fuel one more time. So just checking all.
Aligning the front end on Kyle Busch's Toyota. Here's today's Ford F-150 EcoBoost track facts. It took 6 months to repave Daytona International Speedway, beginning right after the July 4th race. They used 50,000 tons of asphalt, 1.4 million square feet of it, the first complete repaving since 1979, and the cost, $20 million. Spotters all over the place, radio frequencies abuzz. You see spotters up atop our control tower, and radio frequencies were being exchanged in the garage all morning. There are some drivers who can talk to as many as 15 different competitors by selecting them on their radio. However, we are told that the Joe Gibbs teams, including Kyle Busch, refused all requests for their frequencies from other drivers and said, if you want to communicate with our driver, go through their spotter up on the roof instead of trying to talk to them directly.
He would have been wise to have had Michael's radio frequency in that situation there. We're coming to the green, but real quickly, trail braking. When you get a gap between you and the guy that was pushing you, you want to ride the brake a little bit and let that guy ease back up on you. Looks like they just didn't time it right.
Kevin Harvick on the inside of race leader A.J. Allmendinger as they restart double file. Harvick Chevrolet has help from Matt Kenseth's Ford, while Mark Martin stays glued to the back bumper of former road racer A.J. Allmendinger in the 43.
Yeah, immediately after that restart, we're seeing the same 2 driver tandems that we saw before the caution flag at the front of the field.
Now, folks at home, I know you would say, well, with these guys running that close together, wouldn't his engine get hot? That's been a big issue down here for the last several days, trying to be able to push a guy in front of you for long periods of time and not cook your engine. Something the drivers are really going to have to pay attention to.
For the lead, Harvick, past winner of the 500 and one of the best closers in the business. In the closing laps, you watch for that 29 to come through the field. He's trying to lead a lap here from A.J. Allmendinger. Not this one. The Ford stays out front.
But look at that wad of cars behind these top 6. I mean, they're 3 wide for 8 rows deep.
They're fighting for a position. I'm just not sure which one. And I don't think they are either. They're just trying to find somebody to help you get by all this if you can.
And you've got to have a partner, because one car pushing another can be several miles an hour faster than any single car all by itself. On the high side, Big Daddy Jeff Gordon beginning his drive for 5 for a 5th championship. Brian Vickers pushing a former teammate of Gordon's. He is back after a year's illness, cleared by doctors to drive after heart surgery, and nobody wants to win more than Vickers. Check that. Casey Kane in the 4 is the car pushing Jeff Gordon. His car painted identical to that of Brian Vickers. Different number, Kane in the 4. Now, Dale Jr. had to start this race from the back, but his 88's coming to the front. 8th place and coming.
We've seen these two guys. These two guys actually wrecked in practice. That was, oh, we got a smoker up in here. Somebody's got something blowing out. Who is it?
J.J. Yaley, who raced his way into the 500 with a fine drive in Thursday's qualifying race. Drifting to the middle of the pack and trailing smoke. Caution is out for the 2nd time.
Yeah, I'd say he's putting down some oil. Got to be careful here, boys, racing back to this caution.
Junior almost got turned around by Martin Truex.
See, no, I don't understand that. They didn't get the message. The caution was out. They kept racing.
When the caution comes out. Yeah, 10-4. I never heard NASCAR say it, man.
Now watch the 88 coming to the caution flag, and Martin Truex tucked up underneath him.
They don't know the caution's out. You just heard Junior getting on his spotter. They think, man, this is going to be easy right here.
Boy, that'd like to have been big right there. And the irony of that, when he wrecked in Wednesday's practice, it was Martin Truex Jr. in the 56 that was behind him that turned him sideways because they couldn't see.
This caution flag is a break for the 18 because he did not get up to speed on the restart. Kyle Busch.
Watch these two guys. The same thing happened in practice. They ran up on some slow cars that were coming up to speed, I guess we should say. Jimmy Johnson right there. See those slow cars down to the right of the screen. They ran up on them, had to check up. Jimmy did, and that's how Junior ended up in a backup car. Same with Martin. Junior really disappointed, but I think he's going to be fine.
After winning the Daytona 500 pole, that practice crash put Dale Jr. in this backup car for today's race.
But you saw that cheerleader there standing beside him after that wreck. 3 of the 4 Hendrick drivers working with new teams and new crew chiefs in 2011. That was Steve Letarte, who used to be with Jeff Gordon.
Larry, 11 laps complete. Do you pit?
I think you're going to see a lot of guys take advantage of this and come to pit road for fuel only. You almost never pass up an opportunity, Steve Burns, to put fuel in your car.
Matt Kenseth in the 17 hits pit road. Is going to be fuel only. Jimmy Johnson's going to stop right in front of him. Matt.
And Jeff Gordon said his car was skating when he went high. They made a slight adjustment, so he has more grip, and they're topping him off with fuel, Krista.
Kevin Harvick said he would do what Matt Kenseth did. They said Matt's coming in for fuel only. Almost a collision at the end of pit road. Kevin takes fuel only also.
There's the race off pit road. Fuel only for all of the top 10. We're under caution for the 2nd time in the Daytona 500 on Fox.